I'm Faith Buffarelli.
Nice to meet you, Faith.
You too.
And I'm Haley.
And
Hi, Haley.
we're here with Pete's Place Lunch and Learn. And today we're going to be interviewing the owner of Fat Cupcakes. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Anjelica Otness, and I own Fat Cupcake. We've been open since 2014, so for 6 years.
All right. So our first question today is going to be, please share your education and business background with us, and what inspired you to start Fat Cupcakes with your first location in Oregon City?
Absolutely. So I was homeschooled through high school, and then after that, I went to study business, and I got my bachelor's in business administration with an emphasis on entrepreneurship. And I graduated from a school in New Jersey called Thomas Edison, but I did an online distance learning program that entire time. Mm-hmm. And I apologize. What was the next question? Was it what inspired me to open Fat Cupcake?
Yeah, in your first location, Oregon City.
Absolutely. So growing up, my mom always told me life is unpredictable, eat dessert first. And so she let me eat dessert for breakfast, and I just love dessert, so I just made it all the time. And then I'd have friends that would ask me to make them goodies, and so it just kind of spiraled from there, and I'd have people tell me, oh, one day you're going to open a bakery. And so it just became a natural passion from just loving sweets so much. And a friend told me about an opportunity to open up a location in Oregon City, and from what I knew of the community, it just seemed like an awesome place, very family oriented, and it definitely has proven to be just that.
Right, Haley, do you want to get the next question for her?
Yeah, why did you decide on your 3 locations?
Why did I decide on my 3 locations? We're trying to, again, look for locations where we'd really be able to meet our target audience. And while everyone, or at least we like to think everyone would like to eat a cupcake, so we do see every type of person come in our bakery, which is ideal and what we want. But more than anything, we typically see families coming in. And so all of our locations are located in a community that has lots of families that are nearby.
All right. And what is your favorite cupcake and why?
My favorite cupcake as of right now today, it does change, but it's the Pretty in Pink cupcake. So that's a pink champagne cake that has a white chocolate mousse filling and a vanilla buttercream that's a light pink color. I love the flavor. It's something that's a little bit different. The cake tastes just a little bit fruity. And then I also love frosting it. It's just a simple, fun cupcake.
Perfect. Right. What qualities? Oh, sorry. You can go ahead. Go ahead.
What qualities do you look for in hiring employees?
That's a great question. Well, when looking to hire, one of the main things is someone that's honest, someone that's responsible, someone that's going to take ownership in their job. And then with each position, it's a little bit different. So with a baker, we're looking for someone that's precise. With a decorator, we're looking for someone that's creative. And then when we are trying to hire for our guest specialists that are serving our guests and selling our cupcakes, we're looking for someone that's energetic, that really wants to engage with our customers, and that really wants to get to know people. So, in general, always looking for someone that's friendly, that wants to work hard, but each position does have some specific niches that we're looking for.
What would you say to someone who is interested in starting their own business?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's so many things. I'd say, let's go get coffee and let's sit down for a few hours and talk. But if I could say just one thing, it would really be decide who you are, who your business is going to be, and do it on purpose, which I think is something that Dolly Parton said. I think I butchered it a little bit, but at least for me, when I first opened up, there were so many people that had great intentions. They were trying to help me, but everyone was telling me what their opinion was on things. And so I remember going into the paint store and saying, hey, this is the color that I want to paint the bakery, the blue that it currently is. And when I went in there, the person that was helping me said, oh, no, you got it all wrong. Bakeries aren't supposed to be blue. They're supposed to be pink. And then I ended up just leaving that day with no pain. I was like, oh no, I'm doing this all wrong. And then when I chose the name for the bakery, I had many, many people tell me, that's a really bad name. You should not use that. And then was saying, oh, we're going to really specialize and focus just on cupcakes. People said, no, you should do pies, you should do bread, so on and so forth. And so again, everyone had great intentions. They were all trying to help, and it wasn't that they were necessarily bad ideas, but it's just you're the only one that has your vision. And so for me, it just became a little bit overwhelming, and I felt like I was drowning and just not sure where to go with things, because now there are so many people speaking to me. So really, I think a huge thing is just knowing, this is who I am, this is my vision, and I'm going to stick to that and really focus on what I feel like I'm supposed to.
Could you describe some of the challenges you faced starting your company, how you overcame them?
Absolutely. So when I first opened, it seemed like everything was a challenge, from figuring out what licensing I needed, figuring out what I was going to sell, having an accountant, how do I hire someone, how do I do payroll, so on and so forth. Literally every single thing was just felt like a mountain to cross. And so for me, one of the biggest things was having a mentor. And thankfully, my dad, he manages a few actual radio stations that are here locally. And so he just had a lot of business knowledge and advice. So when I felt like I just couldn't figure out something, or when I felt like I don't even know what to look up on Google to try to find which direction to go, I would give him a call, and he would, if he didn't know someone that had experience in that category or in that field, then he would help me figure out, what is it? What are the next steps to do? So I feel like it's very important to have someone that you can go to, that even if they haven't walked down the same exact road, just has some knowledge that's there to really help just direct you.
How did you decide on the name and flavors of your cupcakes?
Well, it was just, goodness, it was a lot of fun. There weren't, really specific things as far as the names. We just wanted names to be fun. We wanted the environment to be fun. And so I think that's really where the name stemmed from. So they don't have meaning. It's just hopefully when you come in, the name puts a smile on your face. There are 2 cupcakes that I did name after people that are close to me in my life. So we have the Goody Gracious cupcake, and that cupcake was named in honor of my grandpa, and that's actually what he called my brother when he was a little boy growing up. He'd always call him the Goody Gracious. So that was a little tribute to him. And then I have a cupcake called the Daisy Haze, and that's actually my grandma's name. So all the rest of them are just fun random names. And then as far as the flavors, I started off with deciding things that I, naturally like. But then I also realized that I need to think about what others like, because if I was making just what I wanted, it'd pretty much just be an assortment of chocolate cupcakes with peanut butter. So I started thinking about, what flavors would my dad like? What flavors would my sisters like, or my mom like? And so it kind of just grew from there. At first, we began with, I want to say it was 8 flavors. And then now today we have 14 flavors. So we try to add a monthly seasonal flavor. And then some of those monthly seasonal flavors are so popular that they just stick and we keep them all year.
Do you have any interest in drawing Cupcake Wars?
Cupcake Wars. Oh my goodness. I'm asked about that actually quite often. I have never been officially asked to do it. I don't know if you apply or how that works, but if I was given the opportunity, I would happily take the challenge.
How do you balance your family and work?
Oh goodness, that is something that I am still working on. I just got married a year ago, and my husband has been so gracious to let me kind of still figure things out. But I think the main thing that comes down to is really hiring wonderful people that do their job well, that take ownership and responsibility for what they're doing. And then with each person, when the baker knows what they're doing and they're doing it well, and the decorator knows what they're doing it and doing it well, and my manager, and our customer service specialists. When each person has control over what they were hired to be doing, then that relieves me of the pressure of trying to be the decorator and the baker and the delivery driver and the manager. And then that really allows me to not work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I feel like the biggest thing to having balance is just having a wonderful team that you can rely on, that you can really trust, and just know that they're taking care of what needs to be done.
How are you able to pivot your business during these times?
Goodness, that's a good question. I think we have just started looking at what are the things that our guests need and what are their concerns. I'm assuming this question specifically has to do with COVID. And so, Of course, we are making sure that we follow every safety guidelines. I mean, because we are a food company, we're always being extremely careful with washing our hands a ton, making sure everything's sanitized, bleached down. So that's something that we already did. But then, of course, when our guests come in, making sure that they're a safe distance apart. But then our team, they've really just been creative, and even without me, soliciting them, they just started throwing out ideas at me, which I'm so thankful for. And so we've started offering things like curbside pickup. We've started offering cupcakes being boxed individually. We know people are at home now a lot more, and there's not many places to go. So we started offering take-home decorating kits, and so on and so forth. So really, we're just trying to listen to what people need and recognize too, look around and see what people need. And it's kind of like that with anything. Or I feel like if you want to be a business that is around for the long haul, you really just have to adapt and change. So we're just trying to listen to our guests and serve them as best we can.
What is your best-selling cupcake?
I would say our best-selling cupcake is the Pretty and Pink cupcake, which is my favorite cupcake that I mentioned before. It certainly does change with the season. So some flavors sell better when it's warm, like lemon does, and then when it's cold, chocolate seems to sell better. But another really popular cupcake is our Suit and Tie, that's salted caramel. And then I'd say our two other ones, there's four that are pretty much always neck and neck, would be our Lemon Doodle. It's a vanilla cupcake with a sugar cookie baked on top, and then a lemon buttercream. And then our Charlie cupcake, which is a chocolate cupcake. It has a peanut butter cup baked in the middle, and then peanut butter buttercream.
What's your best-selling cake, and what made you decide to sell cakes?
Best-selling cake, that changes as well with the seasons, almost more than our cupcakes do. So I'm going to go with our executive cupcake right now. That's a chocolate cupcake. It has a chocolate cake, a cookies and cream mousse filling, and then a cookies and cream buttercream with chocolate ganache. And I'm sorry, what was your other question? Why did we decide to sell cakes?
Yes.
Okay. So we noticed that we started doing a lot of catering for weddings, and people would place their orders for cupcakes, and then often they would want a little small wedding cake just to be able to cut into. And so after being asked that so many times, it really just seemed like the next natural step to offer that. And we were just hoping to be able to provide our guests all that they need so they don't have to, pick up cupcakes here and then go somewhere else for cakes.
All right. Who would be your competition and why?
Competition. I would say, of course, another cupcake shop. There's not tons of cupcake shops around. So I would say probably a company that caters desserts, because we do a lot of catering. Of course, before COVID, when there were large gatherings, we used to provide dessert for lots of large gatherings. I know that has changed recently. But in general, I would say a company that provides dessert catering.
All right, that was our last question, so thank you so much for interviewing with us today.
Of course. Thank you both. You two were delightful.
All right.